Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. Ding dong jingle on the Merrily on Snowman. It's flipping Christmas, or near as damn it. So tonight we're going to Christmas this place up a little bit. I've utterly failed to decorate in here because it's a shed. Why would you? But Dan has at least managed to get the message about festive jumpers. Nice. That is nice, actually.
It is. Well, it's not. It's the Chicago Bears jumper. And it's nice by the very specific standards of Christmas jumpers. Which normally aren't nice in a sort of objective sense. I'm going to move the mouse cursor because it's sort of hovering above your head. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pop that over there. There we go. Will people notice that?
Well, I mean,
they will, won't they? Fucking hell.
If I was to sort of sit here just gently massaging your cheek with it, does that feel nice? Yeah, a little scratch on the beard. There we go. There we go.
Okay. Yeah,
lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Christmas, isn't it? So we're gonna look at some Christmas searching questions. So as we've established before, searching questions are our answers to those little pop culture imponderables, or maybe slightly wider focus than that this evening. But whatever we decide is final and becomes verifiable fact, whether or not it contradicts established canon or indeed the laws of physics, as has happened many times before. So we're going to take a look at that, and then Dan, what else are we going to be chatting about tonight?
So, you know, if you're on the stream, just settle in. Think we're like crowded around a little family. You've got Mummy and Daddy, which is me and Russ. We're sitting here. It's all excited about the presents tomorrow, but we're gonna have a nice cozy evening. Mm-hmm. Just us, just our family. So just buckle up.
Vin Diesel in the corner, popping open a mulled Corona, which I'm sure is what he has at.
You reckon he has a mulled Corona?
When it's Christmas and he's got the family around, yeah.
No, I suppose it's quite festive.
John Cena's there going, why did you forget that I existed for best part of 20 years?
Have you watched it? Is that where this?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay, you should make that one of the things you do over.
I will try and see it. I was giving you that bit from the trailer where Letty goes, like the really dramatic reveal, like that. Yeah. That is Dom's brother, and I really hope that every film in the Fast franchise now has one of those scenes. But it's Letty going, that's Dom's sister, that's Dom's uncle, that's Dom's fourth cousin, that's Dom's sister's boyfriend's estate agent.
I meant to say beforehand, so we'll just do it on the pod because we're all a family, as we discussed. Mum and Daddy here.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think we should, and this is the only time I'm allowed to mention it, we should have to drink like we did last year if we mention lockdown, COVID, coronavirus, any of that shit, basically.
Yeah.
But we should also mention that that's the reason Tom's not here.
Because, as we probably said last year, hopefully all that shit will be over and done with soon.
Yeah. I listened to last year's Christmas pod because I wanted to get myself in the mood for this one. And it was very much like... so what we're going to do next year, there was talk of us going around all the shops that sell Christmas sandwiches in St Albans and getting like half a Christmas sandwich each. And I think it was just assumed that coronavirus wouldn't be a thing this time.
It pretty much was assumed that, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it was broadly assumed that it wouldn't be a thing by last Christmas.
Yes.
So
here it is.
Yeah.
It's still here.
Round 2, baby.
Yeah. With the Omicrons.
Yeah. So apparently that is a letter from the Greek alphabet. It just also sounds like a transformer.
It also does sound like a transformer. It is far too cool considering what it actually is as well. Like, it sounds far too cool.
Yeah.
Which
I'm presuming if we get enough of these variants, I'm presuming they won't call one the Omega variant because that pretty much insinuates the end of all things.
That is very true, yes. Yeah, I'd imagine at some point we'll just go back to being racist and calling it after the first time we hear it from whatever place to push political gains. But,
Yeah.
that seems to work quite well.
None of that bullshit tonight.
Yeah.
We're not talking about actual news or actual crushing weight of reality. We're going to look at some Christmas nonsense.
I wondered where you're going with that. But yes, Christmas nonsense. Yes, that's absolutely fine to say nonsense. Nothing wrong with saying nonsense.
No.
It was more that I thought you were going to say nonsense. Dan's made an interesting point. Omicron Persei 8 is also a planet in Futurama where the three aliens come from. Yeah, which is also very true.
It's where lure comes from, isn't it?
Yes.
Stop it, I will destroy you. Love him.
I love Futurama.
So, we've got some questions. The questions need answers. Dan, what's the first question?
Okay. After the first incident of leaving their child in a home alone, surely at some point the McAllister family, isn't it, in that? Yeah, McAllister families, they would have been, but the police turn up at the end of that film, right, to arrest the two thieves,
The wet bandits, yeah.
The wet bandits, yeah. So at some point, surely they'd have started looking into the fact that this family just forgot their kid and left him in a house.
Yeah, you'd have to... I mean, you would have to hope that there is some sort... You know, you're going to... No matter how much of a mistake it was or anything, you're going to be on some sort of social services watch list, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be enhanced contact from the local authority. I think the problems would really kick in after Home Alone 2.
I was thinking that.
Because,
that's where I was kind of going with this.
Once is a mistake... Twice is, are you actually just trying to get rid of this kid?
Yeah. It becomes a little bit... God, what's her name? Florida Party girl. Didn't kill her kid, apparently. I can't remember her fucking name.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So, it's... For me, I think after the first one, there is a lot of questions. But after the second one, I think Kevin's gone.
Yeah. Also, I think after the first one, next time you go on holiday at Christmas, you would tie a bit of string to the guy. You know, you're going to double and triple check that you've got Kevin.
Yes. You've made some children and you're going to check them twice. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, they have got far too many children. Maybe they're just a bit more cavalier. when you get up to having 7 or 8 children like they seem to... You know,
is there that many in that family?
I can't remember. I seem to remember. I haven't actually seen those films for about 20 years. There's a few kids, aren't there?
Yeah, definitely. It just strikes me as being a bit odd that would happen twice.
Yeah, I think there's got to be someone at the local authority is going. This is, and it's like it was literally the same thing. At Christmas, the only difference is they took him and then left him there this time.
Yeah. So they did
maybe they were hoping to do it in a different jurisdiction.
Yeah, they did what they believe was the difficult.
They're from
part.
Chicago, are they?
It's a John Hughes film, right?
Yeah.
Then they're probably from Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly all of his families are from Chicago in all his films, aren't they? I think
clearly an extremely wealthy family.
Yeah.
So. Maybe there was a bit of backhanded nod and a wink to the local authorities to get them off their case a bit.
I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that let's straight down the middle. Let's get straight to the point. He seems like a bit of a dickhead kid.
I mean that's part. I mean, are we saying it's his fault?
I'm not saying it's not his fault.
It's your fault, and the reason it's your fault is that you're a little bit of a prick.
Remember when he didn't just call the police and instead tried to kill these two robbers?
Yeah, absolutely. Although I think I'm fairly sure we've mentioned this before, but if everyone was just sensible and called the police or their parents, 90% of pop culture wouldn't exist.
Also, I think they cut the line, don't they? I might be wrong.
There is. Yeah, I think he does try to call the police, but they've disconnected the phone or something.
Anyway, I think he's a kind of a dickhead kid. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think it's pretty amazing and inventive everything he does in that film, but still
slightly homicidal as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
definitely, if you haven't already, definitely check out the Corridor Crew, like realistic Home Alone that they've made, where they use CGI to sort of show what would actually happen to people if you did those things to them.
Yes, it's not pleasant.
They've done a new one for Spider-Man as well, which is incredible. It's so disgusting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's Spider-Man?
Like all the Spider-Men.
Okay.
But basically, like, if they did these things and physics was vaguely real, how you would just die horrendously.
There's so many like that, though. How many times have Marvel done the people falling out of a plane, so he's got to rescue them as they're falling, kind of thing?
Oh yeah, where of course what would actually happen is you'd have caught them all, but you'd just have a collection of snapped spines.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, which happens a lot.
But so we can't go around moaning about physics in a Marvel movie.
I don't want to go back to the start of my question, because I didn't really ask a question. I suppose my question was, what happens?
How much of a prick is Kevin McAllister?
A, yeah, we'll go with that. And B, also, what happens to the family that lose their child twice in very similar circumstances when it's clearly their fault?
I mean, like, even if there's no criminal charges passed, where like they're going to be like the media target of America. They're going to be one of those like hated families that's talked about on the chat shows and things.
Do I bring this up? So the McCanns, right?
I don't think there's no parallels there.
Isn't there?
No, there's not.
Okay, fine. I'll shut up then.
But yeah, like you could like, there's going to be like all the like the pundits are going to be talking about like, how can these people call themselves parents? They've left the same kid on holiday twice.
That was my point. Like we get a glimpse into like what the media would think in that sense, at least.
Also, it is way too much of a coincidence that the Wet Bandits are there again. So I'm thinking
Adolf,
the mother has arranged for them to be there, and she's trying to get them to off Kevin.
You see, that makes me sad, because Catherine O'Hara is a legitimate treasure. Yeah. Paul says the only good character in Home Alone is John Candy. Yeah, true. Pretty true for most films, actually. Although John Candy can play a good dickhead as well, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
John Candy can just play anything he wants. He's fucking excellent in everything. Well, he was excellent in everything, bless him. And says auntie and uncle and cousins. Bellends. I agree.
Yep.
No argument here. Yeah. Home Alone's problematic film.
I think we think there's some very suspicious things going on there, don't we?
Yes. Well, there's the rumour that it's a mob. They're part of a mob family, isn't there? Because they've got this giant house and.
Yeah, I guess he's like one of those people that's like, maybe he's like a lawyer for the mob, or an account, like a money guy for the mob, something like that.
Dan says the media probably wouldn't bother unless the McAllisters were a poor family on benefits.
Yeah, maybe.
Sadly, very true.
Well, I mean, you could call it this film rich white people getting away with it again.
Yes, getting away. Oh, look, a rich white kid's got away with... Rich white right-wing kid gets away with murder again. Or attempted murder, at least in this case.
Well, I don't think we're suggesting that Kevin McAllister was like an incel QAnon psycho. But maybe he would have ended up that way if they hadn't had him offed by the Wet Bandits.
I think there's like an 80% chance he would have. Like, do you not think? Look at him. He's fucking setting up traps to kill people that are intruders. And admittedly, it's self-defense. But that's
what they will say, isn't it?
Yeah, most people say it's self-defense, and then, don't take quite the level of glee that he takes in doing that.
Well, so, it's meant to be a proportionate. You could argue that when you put a flamethrower at face height, that is not a reasonable use of force.
No. He is... The whole point of that film is he has the upper hand throughout the whole film. Is that he's the intelligent one in that situation. Then, in which case, if we're supposed to believe what the film is telling us, then we should also be believing that he is actively trying to kill them as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Home Alone. Total shite. I really like Home Alone. I am just playing it. It's a really, really good film. But also, yeah, he would be like, Kevin McAllister would be like some QAnon incel. Like, I think nowadays.
Cool. Well, that's that sorted. And that is now official.
What you got?
Santa, right?
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. So, except that he gets around the whole world in one night and, delivers all the presents to the portions of the world that follow a Christmas tradition.
Mm-hmm.
How does he decide? What order does he go in?
Well, I'd imagine it's based on time zones, right? That's what's been heavily discussed.
But so, I'm like, he must have to travel so insanely fast that I'm going to have to assume that kind of physical proximity isn't even really relevant, because he would have to get he would have to travel faster than the speed of light anyway, so he can basically be in all places at once anyway. So I'm so for the purpose of this, I'm assuming that Santa can teleport.
So what, does he teleport his whole sled? Which is just a giant bag of holding, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Like the biggest bag of holding you can imagine.
But I just think
should have written that into my campaign. But yeah,
from an organisational point of view, how do you tackle this? You know, it's like alphabetizing your DVD collection. You know, is he going to do it by time zone and follow it round? Is he going to go country by country, which would not be the same thing because there's a lot of overlapping of the time zones.
That's very
Is he going to go alphabetical? It's tempting, but you're going to be all over the place.
So he's not going to go alphabetical. I assume, however his sled is powered, right? So it's reindeer powered.
Yeah.
So, you've got to think about the well-being of the reindeer. I would imagine he has all kinds of animal rights activists up his arse trying to make sure that he is looking after them.
Yeah.
And they travel around the fucking world one night a year. So that's got to be a minefield in the first place. So if he was to say, you know what, I'm going to do it alphabetically this time, fuck him, and he's travelling all over the place, then I don't think he'd get away with that. I think he's got to do a sensible route, which is the route that means that the reindeer have to travel the least possible distance.
But that
would be my guess.
So that's an incredibly difficult thing to solve. Isn't that basically the I think it's like a mathematical classic problem. I think it's called the travelling salesman problem. So you have a number of points with connections between them, and you got to work out the most efficient way of
everywhere though.
Yeah, you're not even following roads, so you can just draw straight lines between them. But how do you travel the most effective route around all of those points? But then is he worried about fuel efficiency?
No, he's probably not. But he probably doesn't want to tucker out his reindeer, and he probably wants to get it done as quickly as possible. I've kind of always, in my head, I've never understood the Santa only worked one day a year kind of argument. I think he spends 364 days preparing, and then it's one day's travel.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a bit of he goes into some sort of pocket dimension or something, so that it's not literally 24 hours. But I'd be tempted to go for you could go if you imagine a line from the North Pole to the South Pole. You just go down that line, and then you rotate around one tiny arc minute or whatever it's called of longitude, and then go straight back up again. There's obviously there's large bits you can cut out. There's big portions of the world you're not having to hit that don't observe Christmas. Apart from Australia, there's not that many people on the southern hemisphere anyway.
Australia's going to be quite quick anyway.
Just do the edges, mate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Hit Darwin, out.
Yeah.
Don't forget Tasmania.
Yeah, Paul Edge says it, like a dot matrix going up and down the world with the time zone.
Yeah, like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you could, like, you wouldn't have to go all the way down to the South Pole every time, because once you've done those poor fuckers in the research station, there's nobody south of Argentina that you need to worry about.
Yeah. What did the poor fuckers in the research station get for Christmas? Hats, socks.
I think they do get Christmas presents, because if you didn't, they're going to be very depressed out there. The sun never goes down, and you can't go outside or your eyeballs will freeze. It's not the nicest place to be, I imagine.
No, I think that's a given, isn't it, really? Santa's probably cool with it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in the North Pole, doesn't he? So.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's quite inconvenient for him, people living at the South Pole.
Yeah. Yeah, like, probably gets it done early because probably enjoys that the least.
Mm-hmm.
So he can get back in time for the North Pole South Pole rivalry football match as well.
Yeah. Which presumably we have to be played on the equator, so it's neutral territory.
Well, they play 2 a year.
Oh, like home and away.
Yeah, take it in turns. Actually, no, they play 1 a year. It's like the Ashes, so they take it in turns.
Oh, okay. Like, who's going to be the tourists this year?
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Something entirely made up. That was fun. Yeah, so I think that's the way to go. I think you just got to, like, literally just kind of go up and down the world.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Creating
like a little
very fine
little bobbing
wavy
going
lines.
up and down.
Yeah, yeah. That would be how.
I bet he starts off like super neat and organised, and by the end he's just all over the place going, "Oh, fuck it!"
Yeah, I bet he's like a really bad kid with a paper round where they just dump like 20 papers at the end because they can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Because no one's got fucking chimneys that aren't blocked up anymore because it's inefficient. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, like wood-burning stoves coming back in a big way, aren't they?
Yeah. Surely chimneys are massively inefficient, though, because they're just a giant hole to the outside that completely...
Do you mean like from a home insulation
yeah.
point of view? I broadly, I think, yes. I mean, they're
Heat
literally
rising,
designed for heat to go up. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I think most houses that got a chimney, it's actually blocked up these days, isn't it?
That's kind of what I think as well. So yeah, so he's fucked anyway. He's got to go in the back door. Nice one, Santa. And he's got to smash in the back doors. Eat a mince pie, and then
smash in the back doors. Eat a mince pie. High five. Out you go.
We go.
Yeah. Fist bump Rudolph.
Fist bump Rudolph. Yeah. Everyone's getting the Maxim calendar for Christmas this year.
Yeah. So maybe he mixes it up, does it in different orders, different years. Maybe he's trying to work out the most effective, efficient route. But I mean, that'd be impossible because the people you're visiting would change on a daily basis.
He must be kind of a COVID risk, right?
Or like one person travelling to every house. I mean,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a super spreader.
Assuming that he's not interfering too much with the people in the houses, which, you know, they say he's not, but then they said that about certain people in the 70s, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some videos where he definitely interferes with people. Some documentaries on it.
Jesus Christ. I know Duncan's not here, but you don't have to.
He smashes in the back doors.
Eats a mince pie. Fist bumps Rudolph.
Eats a mince pie and then just... It's been a long week, Russ, and I know it's only Wednesday. Okay, I'll shut up, shall I?
It's not what you said, it's how pleased with yourself you looked afterwards.
Sorry. It's also a bit what I said, though, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's popping up on the roof.
Yeah.
Chalk up another one, Rudolph. Bop.
That
is going to really slow him down as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, isn't it? Yeah, you should probably cut down on
If
that.
he's like
Probably doesn't do that.
taking the
He's like
70s
that.
milkman version of doing his rounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but they were really shit at their job, and he can't afford to be shit at his job. So, you know. So, because, you know, only he is doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, assuming it's always the same guy, maybe he gets sacked and replaced by Coca-Cola every year.
Maybe. They just pick like another white dude with a long white beard.
Probably, yeah.
Russ, do you think I could be Santa one day?
I mean, you'd have to go grey at a much more satisfyingly advanced rate than you annoyingly are.
This is true. I am not particularly. I've got grey. You see it? Hang on.
I mean, you haven't. It's literally bright red. It's the same colour as your jumper.
It's not the same colour as my jumper. You shut up. But yeah.
It was that time you dyed your hair red for mysterious reasons.
I wanted to be cool. I wanted red hair. Mm-hmm. But funnily enough, you still have to. Sorry. Hose 3. Ploughing through the back door. Nice one, Paul.
It's almost certainly a thing, isn't it?
Yep. Well, if it's not, it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Dan also says, I mean, someone's mum has definitely got off with Santa and wrote a song about it. This is true. I don't think there's any kind of like hidden depth to that at all. I think it's very surface about someone's mum cheating on their significant other with Santa Claus and being caught.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely.
Not the worst Christmas song. Baby, it's cold outside. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean that's called it's Date Rape the Song. It's not great, is it? It's a good song, but it's an awful. It's. There is. Have we talked about this before? I'm sure there's like
every year.
There's sort of historical context to. You couldn't just talk about wanting to stay over at someone's house. You had to be convinced into it, because otherwise it was seen as improper and looked at through a modern lens. It just sounds horrifically rapey.
Yeah, it does. Yes. Yeah, I think that's true. There's a great version of it with Jenny Lewis and Bill Murray from that weird Bill Murray Christmas.
That's good. That.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
And it's very like Bill Murray just went, "Hey, I want to do this thing. We're doing this thing. I'm going to ring up my friends and we're going to do this thing."
And the rumour is that Bill Murray then ended up going out with Jenny Lewis.
Maybe, but yeah, that is good. That weird Christmas, like him stuck in the hotel.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've not seen it popping up in like the annoying Christmas shit section.
Yeah,
which mainly seems to be things about royal families having mishaps. That seems to be the current trend of Christmas movies.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a lot involving like there's obviously a Christmas Prince. There's the Princess Switch. There's a whole bunch of slightly unconvincing European royal family based stuff.
Is there a good modern Christmas film?
Hard pass.
I can't think of one.
I'm sure
Let us know in the chat.
Like, you know, people do like The Holiday, which I think might be about 15 years old now. Elf is too old to consider modern, I think, these days.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people talk highly of A Christmas Prince. It's got her from iZombie in it. She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it. I can't pass judgment.
I wonder if the Christmas TV episode has now overtaken the Christmas movie.
There are so many churned out every year, apparently, like Hallmark type ones.
Yes.
There's thousands of them.
Yeah, Bad Santa is is pretty, is at least as old as Elf, I think, if not older.
Yeah, I mean, it is an amazing movie, but I think it's not like it would have to be one that's got like broad appeal.
Yeah. Jack's. This is something Jack's been talking to me about. For starters, is Dan wearing a Bears Christmas jumper?
Of course he fucking is.
Yes, I am. Yes, whoop, fucking hell, I nearly fell out the chair. 2 days ago, I was wearing my Bears Christmas jumper at work with my Bears trainers and my Bears face mask.
So you're pretty much just dressed as a bear.
Yeah, I wish, but no, not quite. And he also says Santa Jaws, which is a film about a Christmassy shark, I think that's recently come out.
It's got from the makers of Sharknado written all over it.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Hallmark Channel has kind of ruined Christmas films
by pumping out an endless stream of shit ones.
Yeah,
yeah, slightly. They must be cranking them out like all year round.
Yes. So where were we? Oh, okay, yeah. So Santa does. We reckon he goes up and down the country, the world, like a dot matrix. So, yeah, there's that.
Kicking it old school.
Yeah. I guess it's me next, I suppose.
What you got?
Know whether. So, why did the other elves think it was okay to keep Buddy the elf when he was a human baby?
Yeah, they did just steal a baby, didn't they?
They just stole a baby.
And it was like, there was no, it was the only sort of debate was like, who's going to look after him, not should we take this baby back?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I suppose it feels okay in the context of the film, because obviously he's in an orphanage. So it's like he's been adopted. But like, they don't, at no point do they say he was looking for a family, let's give him one, or anything like that. So you have to assume that if that had been a baby from a normal house that had crawled into the sack, they'd have kept it anyway.
Yeah.
Which would have made going back to do the presents at that house very awkward for Santa.
Yeah, seeing the shrine to their missing kid that they stole.
Yeah. You would have to hope that they kind of let them. Doesn't Santa sort of say something like I'm sure there's some sort of, like, he sort of knows the nuns, doesn't he? Is there something? Yes. Am I completely making that up?
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen Elf in ages.
Maybe. Oh, we watch it every year. We just haven't watched it this year yet. It's a wrapping up the presents film. I've got to assume that Santa kind of let the nuns know that Buddy had been, that the baby had been like
stolen a baby,
adopted and was safe.
And if you want to see another Christmas, you'll fucking let us take the baby.
Keep your fucking mouth shut about it, won't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Fucking.
Or at least like magicked up the paperwork or something to cover up the paper trail.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming it was how old's Will Ferrell? Must have been like the 70s.
True.
But you still can't just lose a baby from an orphanage.
No, that doesn't tend to happen very often, I suppose. You know, unless you're Boris's kid, I'd imagine. But so, what's with me tonight, Russ? I'm very topical. What's going on there?
But yeah, they just and like it's clearly not a suitable environment for him.
No, like his diet is insane. Like that's what a kid should be brought up.
They don't make much in the way of like adaptations for him.
No. Dan brings up a point. They stole the baby from the orphanage and then made him work in Santa's sweatshop in unreasonable conditions, particularly for someone that's twice the size of everyone else that's working in there.
Yep. No mention of him being paid anything.
No, he seems to get paid in sweets and spaghetti or whatever it is that he fucking tries to eat. Yeah. I haven't seen it in ages. I've just seen that scene.
Candy corns, cola, and syrup, I think, are the 4 food groups, aren't they?
Something That's like that. Right, yeah. Which is, he is a human child, so... And the fact that they then find his actual family as well. Eventually, he goes and finds them. He has to out them first, though.
Yeah, they just have it all in a book, don't they? They know,
Yeah.
so they've obviously gone and like researched the background of this kid,
Yeah,
and then
Exactly.
gone, we'll keep him.
yeah, I agree. It's fucked up. Elf, fucking not right.
Also, best Christmas movie.
You reckon?
I don't know. I think Elf and Muppet Christmas Carol are my top two. I think.
Should we announce now the finalists for the World Cup of Christmas films?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the two that made it in the end, and I'm very surprised that one of these at least got knocked out. We have a battle between Muppet Christmas Carol and Home Alone.
Bullshit.
Why?
Because there's several more like superior films on there.
Then
Than Home
Muppet
Alone.
Christmas Carol.
No, than Home Alone.
Oh, Home Alone, I agree. Yeah, we've already discussed he's a QAnon incel little cuck. So
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, it's.
Die Hard, Elf, obviously.
I was so glad to see fucking Die Hard.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That went so early.
I know.
What
I can
were
only
you
assume that
thinking?
not enough people have seen it. In which case,
so
if you've
good.
not seen it, stop listening to us and go and watch it now. It's phenomenally funny.
Bad Santa just got knocked out in like the first round or something.
Yeah, but that just means it's only for the cool kids.
Yeah, I fucking love Bad Santa. Yeah, it's bullshit. And here we are left with Muppet Christmas Carol, which is great, versus Home Alone, which is also great. But I'm slightly concerned Home Alone's going to win, which is not the right response. Muppet Christmas Carol should
Muppet
win.
Christmas Carol should definitely win because it's just a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to Brett Goldstein's podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, he talks about
Movies
Muppet
to be
Christmas.
buried with, or it's called.
Yeah, he talks about Muppet Christmas Carol all the time.
It's so good.
And it's
it's
basically-
the best version of Christmas Carol.
He considers it to be not just it's a Christmas movie. It's just one of the best films ever made. Full stop.
It's really good. Like it's just we've got some fun stuff going on in the chat. It's just genuinely a great film.
Yeah.
Like Michael Caine does not look out of place in that film. Like one of the greatest British actors of all time, and he's just chilling in his fucking tax haven. Anyway, so Paul says they must have a hell of an elf dental plan. Yep, I agree. And Dan says,
Yeah.
Given that diet's a miracle, he didn't get morbidly obese. Jack says, I don't care who wins as long as Die Hard loses. Die Hard lost. Die Hard is out. Paul then says, National Elf Service.
Nice.
Then he says, I'll get my coat. But Jack also says, justice for Gremlins, because Jack wanted Gremlins to win. Dan also says, Home Alone 2 spoiled spoiled the polls and should have been put up against Home Alone right from the start. I wish I'd done that.
It's luck of the draw. It's the
What?
officials at FIFA pulling those little ping pong balls out of the the lottery machine or however they do it. Is
Very
that
good
how
of them.
they still do it? I've not watched a
Yeah.
World Cup draw for a long time. It's not. Is it FIFA that do the World Cup? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's not our fault. The groups are the groups.
Jack says it was still good enough to knock out two other films. It is genuinely a great Christmas film. I think he's talking about Gremlins. Yes, it is, yeah. True. Yeah. Oh, Home Alone 2 maybe. I don't know.
They're all good Christmas. There was no bad ones in there.
No. We put Christmas Chronicles in there. And I think we put it in there just because we all fancied Kurt Russell a bit.
Yeah.
You got any more?
So, the seasonal period in general is considered to be a bit of a free-for-all when it comes to things like what time of day do you start drinking? How much cheese is too much cheese to be in one fridge?
Yes.
Chocolate, what meals is it appropriate at? That kind of stuff.
Yes is the answer to that question.
I've been snacking mainly on gold coins and Stilton for the last week or two.
Okay.
What is the latest acceptable cut-off date for that sort of behaviour?
So when you can still carry on,
When
you have to stop.
When do you have to stop having a daily brie?
I think it's when you have to go back to work.
Really?
I think that's the cutoff. Yeah, I think if you're still sitting there at work with a port, a piece of brie, and a bag of chocolate coins, then I think
and that's entirely doable because we're all working from home again.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to know.
When you actually have to go do some work, then I think that's the cutoff point. And I think it's if you're not working, if you're at university or you don't have a job, or you have a job that means that you are off for 2 months or something, whatever. I think it's when the majority of people that have been off go back to work. I think that's a cutoff point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that works for like me, like a retail worker as well. So like I think I can get away with that in the evenings when I get home, and then when most of the office working world goes back to work, then I think that's when I have to cut down on that.
That's like the acceptable excess cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's good because I think it gives you like a set time to try and get it all finished by as well.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable approach. We've got so much cheese in our fridge.
Really?
So much cheese.
Nice. What cheese have you got?
Like all the cheese.
Okay. What cheese is your favourite cheese, Russ?
Are you actually asking me what my favourite cheese is?
Yeah.
It's probably Charus.
Oh,
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a bit of chili infused honey on it, and that shit is unbelievable. It's really good. Really nice.
No, I have no doubt. I just
I don't know what it's called as well, but got a really nice like washed rind goat's cheese on the go as well. It's like soft. It's very pungent, but not like stinky. It's nice.
quite like a stinky cheese.
Mm.
So that's fine.
I think that's broadly a good approach. I think the only adjustment I'd make is that sort of cut-off date.
Mm.
That is the cut-off for buying anything new. You've got as long as it takes to eat what you've got stored up, because we don't want food waste. It's an absolute crime.
I was more thinking that, like, then you've got to work out what your portions are going to be.
Oh, so you say you have to, like, I have to eat this much of the Stilton every day.
Yes.
Otherwise, I get punished.
Otherwise, you just have to.
So you're thinking it all has to be gone by that date.
Yeah. I think at that point you are entering a new phase of your life, and you are looking at. But that's obviously when people start, like going back to gyms and stuff.
It's when people buy gym memberships and then don't go.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough but fair.
I think so.
I just would be concerned that there is good food going to waste. But then on the flip side, if you do it the other way around, the temptation is to like get a fucking ridiculous Ocado order at midnight on the night before the cutoff, and then you're stocked up for the next month, aren't you?
Yeah, I definitely don't think you can do that.
Yeah, that's not on.
Definitely isn't. Dan says, I've not been allowed to start indulging in chocolate yet. And Jack says, if you're indulging in cheese and port at work, surely that makes you a Tory, so you can do what you like. Yes, that's a good joke.
I just think it might be all that keeps me going through January, working from home again, like permanently.
Little cheesy nibble.
The sun won't be visible. Everyone's going to be ill.
Yeah. Are you just working from home now?
I mean, I pretty much am anyway. I was only ever going into the office once or twice a week at most anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our office was always pretty deserted anyway.
Yeah.
It never really, people didn't really start going back properly anyway.
Paul says, nothing after 27th, 28th first supermarket trip and a reduced cheese board. Otherwise, you will return to work with gouts.
I mean, that is a risk, but that's the tightrope we walk, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are heroes, obviously. So yeah.
Nothing after the 27th, 28th. I mean, that would be a big supermarket trip. Like, are you talking like going to the supermarket in the Christmas gooch, stocking up, and then that's what you have to run down?
Yeah, I mean, for most people, that's enough. Usually, people are back at work by like the 2nd of January, aren't they?
Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to behave.
No one's asking you to behave. You just behave differently. So yeah.
Yeah. Breakfast gin and tonics have to stop.
Probably if you're going to work, yeah, I'd recommend that. So yeah. Fun times. Okay. You got any more?
How bad can you be before you get on the bad list?
On the naughty list. Have you seen the latest Tom Hardy video, by the way?
I have not, no.
Oh my god. Okay, we're watching that afterwards. But it is just hilarious.
Dan's current favourite thing is to make someone watch a Tom Hardy video while he stares at them.
Yes.
Are you laughing at the right bit? It's this bit. Laugh at that bit.
Yeah.
No. So wait, is there a new? So I've seen the. What was the last one I saw?
Nearly Christmas time.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. No, he's done another one which is just him as Santa.
I've not seen that one. No.
Really,
excellent.
Really funny. Naughty or Nice, it's called. Jack says Dan goes back to work on Boxing Day. Let's all laugh at the retail worker. Ha 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 ha.
Just laughing at how insanely harsh that is.
Well, I'll tell you guys a little story. I get the same amount of holiday as all of you, and I get to decide when I fucking spend it. And do you know when I spend it? Without the rest of you pricks later in the year when it's actually light during the day. So fuck you. Anyway.
Except you use your holiday to stay up until 4 a.m. watching American football. Or not even actual American football, like the training.
This is sadly true, yes. Yes, indeed.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Tom Hardy. Yeah, Naughty or Nice it's called. It's really funny.
Nice.
It talks about how Santa's trying to squash his Marxist elves taking government-sanctioned lunch breaks and stuff like that. It's really fucking funny.
So I think, like, you got to cut people a certain amount of slack. Nobody's perfect. I mean,
no.
Let's face it. My children won't be getting anything if there was a very strict interpretation of the naughty or nice list.
Did I tell you about the year my parents thought it was funny? And they did the groundwork for this in like November by saying, well, if you're naughty, you get a stick. You don't get presents. And so they did that like once a week up until December. And then I come down on Christmas Day and there is one thin cylindrical wrapped gift under the tree. And I open up and it's a stick. And they thought this was the funniest fucking thing they've ever done.
To be fair to them, for everyone else in the world, it pretty much was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to my shame, we have resorted once or twice to the threatening to phone Santa thing, which it's awful, fucking effective though.
Yeah. What you need to do is something as effective as when Tom has to call Ewan McGregor. Like,
what? Strap a printed mask to your face.
Yes.
So there is like people have done like YouTube videos that you can get up and pretend that are a video call, and it's like Santa going, "Oh, that's very disappointing to hear that. I'm going to make a note of that."
That is amazing.
That is sick. That's going too far.
It's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Oh, I having listened back to last year's Christmas episode.
Yeah, during which I imagine we covered a lot of the same ground that we've covered tonight.
No, we did. Last year's one was called Christmas Things That Can Do One. So just like shit that Christmas that we hated. And one of them was Elf on the Shelf. Have you done Elf on the Shelf this year?
No, I mean, and I don't know why more parents don't do this. We just haven't told our children what Elf on the Shelf is. It makes my life so much easier. Because everyone I know who's doing Elf on the Shelf has gone insane by December the 4th.
Yes.
And is up, like, you know, having kids puts you on a weird timetable. If you want to have any sort of just relaxing time, it means that you end up doing household chores at weird times of night because you don't want to spend all evening doing the fucking washing up. So, you know, I tend to do night chores most evenings before going to bed. so I'm cleaning the kitchen at midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
But the idea of then like the worst thing that normally happens to me is I remember that there's a load of laundry that I need to go and put on the drying rack just when I was thinking, oh right, I'm going to toddle off to bed now.
Yeah.
If I remember that I had to set up an elaborate diorama at that time, I would not be a happy bunny.
Dan says Elf on the Shelf scared his niece. It scared me too.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
They're moving around at night doing stuff.
Yeah. The sentient cuddly toy is terrifying. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. And Jack says you take a week off for the draft. You literally take time off to watch college kids exercise. Yes, I do. And you know what? Fuck you. I love it. Good thing about college kids, I keep getting older, they stay the same age. Or whatever the line is from Dazed and Confused. That's not why I watch it. I want to stress that. That was a really... Shouldn't have done that. That was silly.
I suppose at least because of the time difference, you can go out during the day and do some stuff because it doesn't really kick off until about 2-3 in the morning anyway.
Sure, and the best thing is I'm not tired at all. Dan says, to be fair, if you pictured the elf toys coming alive and doing mischief, that would be pretty scary. And Jack says, but that's the plot of Toy Story. Terrifying. There are some terrifying moments in Toy Story.
But at least, like, the kid, Andy doesn't know that they're sentient, does he?
No, true.
Which is probably for the best, because if college-age Andy knew that those toys on the shelf were awake and watching him all the time, he'd be very embarrassed.
Yeah, or it'd spur him on. Oh, I hope the toys aren't watching me do this. Oh no, where's Action Man going?
And that's why he wasn't in the third one.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
No, I think that's broadly it. Do we have any from other sources? Although we
Duncan.
have been spaffing on for nearly an hour now.
Yeah, Duncan has some. I said I'd do.
Of course he does.
I did have one, like panto-based one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this could have been done any time, I think, really, for searching questions, but we're going to do it now because it's a good one. So, Cinderella, right?
Mm-hmm.
Magicked up, complete outfit that would fit perfectly, right? So, she would have perfect fitting glass slippers, which sounds like the most uncomfortable thing in the world anyway. Why the fuck does one fall off?
Yeah, true. Just a bit of sloppy fairy godmothering, isn't it?
This comes in from Kaz, by the way. So, hi, Kaz.
So are they, like, is it... I might be thinking something completely... Isn't it this sort of like a weird translation thing? They aren't meant to be literally shoes made of glass because, you know, you'd die.
But that doesn't matter anyway, right? Like once.
Do you know what? I think I might actually be thinking of a Terry Pratchett story, which kind of does a sort of a Cinderella twist, and they're kind of shoes that are covered in little mirror fragments and things.
Mm. But why does one fall off anyway? This is meant to be like the perfect fitting clothing.
Is it something to do with like the clock striking midnight and everything starts like shrinking and disappearing? Is that something to do with it?
I thought that, but it's still the glass slipper, which is still what she's wearing.
Yes, because they like carry it around the kingdom afterwards, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's obviously not. Maybe that's the problem. It was an actual real shoe that the fairy godmother had commissioned in advance.
Maybe her foot changes shape.
Maybe.
Mm.
But she's just her, isn't it? She's not like turned into an animal or anything.
I don't know, but like it's still like the glow up version of her, though, isn't it? Like it's still like best possible makeup. It's
yeah,
like
she gets she's all thatted, doesn't she, on the way out the door?
Yeah.
But why would that change her shoe size?
Unless they change her feet size.
I mean, you're getting into some really weird, specific territory there. Yeah, the prince has got some. He's got some preferences, so we are going to have to change this on you.
Hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It should be, you know, if it's magic, it should just be all fine, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's bollocks now, really.
Yeah,
That's
you've driven a tiny hole right through the otherwise impenetrable logic of that story.
I know, right? This is Duncan. Duncan's has a few good ones.
Go for it.
Searching questions. How good a king was good King Wenceslas, and how was he deposed?
Well, that just sounds like a history question. I've got absolutely no idea what that story is based on and how real any of it is.
His kingdom starved to death with all his excellent feasts that he was having. And so they had enough.
Yeah.
Eventually kind of ran him out of town.
It does reek slightly of that, like, I'm a bit worried about my PR position. I'm going to commission a song called Good King Wenceslas. Get that written.
Yeah.
Make it really catchy. Get everyone singing that. Ignore all those inconvenient executions for avoidance of taxes, things like that.
This is a good point, yeah. So he might have been deposed because he actually wasn't that good a king. So the two answers to this might be probably shit, and also that's why.
How do you know anything? Is it based on a real?
I know
historical figure
all about it. No clue.
I'm gonna have to hit Wikipedia.
I'm doing that right now. I'll read out some of the comments.
I'll do this afterwards.
Jack says the shoes are magic, so any issue with them breaking can be hand waved. She might just have sweaty feet.
Yeah, maybe. Has been hitting the dance floor all night.
Dan says, why didn't the glass slipper turn back into her normal shoes like everything else did? Because it's in the hand of the prince? I don't know. That would be my guess. Jack says the live action version implies they don't vanish, as they were made just from magic as opposed to being transmogrified like everything else. Paul says he was a person, yes. King Wenceslas. So yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Have a little look up at that.
Yeah. It's Duncan trying to make us look like pricks, isn't it? He says, also, does Rudolph have a rare skin condition, or is his nose a sign of metabolism malfunction?
Maybe it's just a colossal wino.
It like proper glows, doesn't it? It's like an LED light. Like
yeah, I mean, you know, if Santa is using it for like navigational purposes, then you're gonna have to assume that Rudolph is in fact some sort of cybernetically enhanced reindeer.
Yeah.
With like a very powerful LED light source mounted on the front of his skull.
Potentially, maybe he goes through like a super soldier serum kind of thing where he just wants to please Santa.
Maybe,
the best possible like reindeer who can be. Duncan also says, "Is we wish you a Merry Christmas actively or passively aggressive?"
It does get quite aggro, doesn't it?
It's fucking aggressive. It's not passive. There's nothing passive about it. We won't stop until we get some.
Yeah, it's quite like that's not really good behaviour as a guest, is it? To sort of demand something,
no,
and then basically occupy the place until you get what you want. Nobody really knows what figgy pudding is.
No,
I've got a tiramisu. You can have it or you can fuck off.
But they're not going to stop till they get some. Also implies that we don't want to hear the song as well. So yeah.
Yeah, good song, weird message.
Is definitely that, yeah. I think that's everything. We should say there was one more, didn't we? No, that's it. Yeah.
That is Christmas sorted. How are you doing, Chris? Are you like ready for Christmas?
So Friday evening, I had a few beers and I ordered all my presents.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
So that's done. Yeah, that's sorted then. Paul says, how annoying would Rudolph be 364 days of the year?
I mean, if he can't turn it off, you know, like whoever's rooming with him in the stables. Oh, fucking Rudolph, can't you at least turn towards the wall? Come on, man.
Yeah. It would be annoying, wouldn't it?
Mm. Can't go to the cinema.
No. Unless he puts something over his nose to cover it up.
Well, yeah, but that's just gonna raise more questions, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, no question. Guys, what about the Doctor Strange trailer? Have you seen that yet?
I haven't. Is there a Doctor Strange trailer?
Yeah, I saw it because I think it's at the end of something.
Can you watch the Doctor Strange trailer if you haven't seen Spider-Man's yet?
Wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, yeah, then I'm not watching the Doctor Strange trailer yet.
Yeah. You mean you can? it doesn't actively tell you anything, but it does kind of hint at things.
Spider-Man's isn't up on Disney Plus for like premium purchase yet,
for a while, but the way COVID's going, I reckon it might go up quite quickly.
It will do. Although it's done insanely well at the box office. Bear in mind that every other film has tanked, and it wasn't expected to do incredibly well.
Yeah. Matrix is expected to do quite badly by the sounds of things because it's getting mixed reviews.
I'm hearing very middling reviews. I think it's probably one of those ones where, like, if you like The Matrix and have fond memories of it, as people our age do, it's probably a good time. But I don't think it's going to be like The Matrix was for us in 1999 to people who are
that was amazing.
Teenagers now.
I remember that. Yeah.
It wasn't great. Like, you've just not seen anything like that before. It was amazing.
No.
Fucking mini discs used to store files. Boom.
Yeah,
there's some other crazy stuff going on as well, but that's the main takeaway that I had. There was a data mini disc format. You could get like a mini disc drive for your PC.
I mean, that just makes sense, doesn't it? Surely that's like.
Well, it's just storage, isn't it? But yeah, there was like an MD data specification.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm very tired. It's been a long week already.
I really miss mini disc players.
Yeah, mini disc players were great, except for the fact they were just timed ridiculously badly just prior to MP3s. So.
Yeah. But they, like, MP3s sounded dreadful, like legitimately dreadful for quite a while. When everyone was encoding them at, like, 56 kilobytes a second.
Yeah.
Terrible compression.
Yeah, that's true. It did take them a while to kind of catch up with that, didn't it? So, but there we go.
Do you need to go and have a nap?
I'm so tired. Is it coming across? Sorry, I didn't realise.
Right, we're done. Tired. We out, people. Yeah. Dan, is there anything else going on that you need to plug?
I just did a spoiler cast for Spider-Man. So I will give a very brief, non-spoiler review. It's fucking excellent. Yeah,
I really want to go and see it, but I mean,
really, really.
I really want to see it, but I'm not going to see it. So hopefully, this might be one that I would be prepared to pay £20 to watch on Disney Plus when it comes up on there.
I went to see it. When I went to see it the day the kids broke up from school.
Yeah.
So the cinema was still like mostly empty. So
nice.
But I wouldn't go now. That's why I wanted to go then. So yeah.
Yeah, things have changed kind of very quickly.
Paul says downloading a decent quality MP3 off Napster legit took 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, and then you download it and you realise it was one of those ones that was just the verse that someone had put on repeat. Had loads of those.
And you just got the one song. Like, it took ages before people started putting whole albums up on there.
Yeah, and I think that ruined the album. But there we go. That's a conversation for another time, probably. So, how Napster and LimeWire ruined.
I agree with you, but you sound like such an old man when you talk about. Well, it's ruined the concept of the album, hasn't it?
Well, I guess we'll both go fucking shout at clouds together, then, shall we? Like, just. Yeah, no, it does. I sound like a hipster prick. Like that,
like the concept of the album is like a curated collection of songs that tell a story or are thematically linked or something.
Each other, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of gone now.
Yeah. You're never going to get Sgt. Pepper's again. Let me put it that way.
Although Adele did get Spotify to take the random button off of album pages.
Did she?
Yeah. Like if you load up an album on Spotify, the randomize button is not there by default. You have to like click into a menu and go and find it.
I genuinely can't think of anyone that it would be less relevant to. So, but there we go.
She insists that the new album tells a very specific story in a very specific order of songs, and if I ever listened to it, I'm sure I'd agree.
And bless her for making sure that no one else could print an album this year. So that's lovely of her as well.
She's a very good singer, but I cannot imagine ever.
Is she?
I mean, like, yes,
okay,
but
sure.
I can't. Oh, come on! Don't be a prick about it. She is a good singer.
She shouts.
She's a very good singer. She's got a great voice.
Shouts. No,
yeah, she shouts very melodically. But I can't ever imagine putting an album on and listening to it.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's not very good. However, I've got fucking hundreds of them that work, so feel free to come and buy some.
Yeah, you're right, thanks.
Yeah, don't blame me. But yeah. Right. You wrapping us up then, yeah. Oh yeah, so Marvel doing a Spider-Man spoiler cast.
Yeah.
We all really liked it, is the point. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've not really seen many people saying it's not good.
I've just got a message saying Adele is a good singer. So I stand corrected. Leave that one there. Sorry.
She anyway. Is. Yeah, Adele is.
I've always agreed, Russ.
She is someone who can sing.
Adele, national treasure. Come on.
Absolutely. Olympics.
The games. Emily Sandé. Unbelievable. Fuck knows, Russ. I'm so tired.
How much that got to you. That's all you talked about for about a month.
She did 5 songs in that opening ceremony.
It's a valid point, Dan, but look, the 100 metres is on. No, but seriously, the 4th time we saw Emily Sandé come up, did you not start thinking it was a bit much? Dan, I'm trying to actually watch this competition.
We're doing really well. It's Super Saturday, Dan. But Emily Sandé, right?
But Mo Farah's... yes, Dan, that's a valid point about Emily Sandé.
2 races in a row. Yeah. But Emily Sandé wanted me to read all about it 4 times. Yeah. Right.
If people ever want to contact us for any weird reason, how can they do so?
Just head to Instagram, which is at TMTOOH, or Twitter, which is at TMTOOH. So,
nice.
There's an email that we've never checked. You can do that if you like, but wouldn't recommend that either.
Lovely. Well, happy Christmas, or whatever you're doing over this little break. To everybody, thank you very much for listening / watching / commenting / lurking in bushes like you've been doing over the year. Dan, is there something happening out your window?
No, why? My window's over there.
You were just going.
I caught my eye of myself.
Like, you're admiring yourself. Sure.
No, I'm not.
Sure. Say no more.
Myself.
Dan's like he's like a budgerigar. If you put a mirror next to him, he's happy with it for hours.
I am, to be fair. My God. Just another me.
Nice.
No.
Right, we out of here.
Yeah,
Dan, do you want to wrap this up, or shall I just press the button and end this misery for once?
Thank you for joining us. If you joined us on the live stream, that's great. If you're joining us on the podcast, why not come and look at us? I mean, there's many reasons why, but
so many reasons.
Do it anyway. It's fun. There's so many visual gags in there. Maybe. But, thank you for watching, listening to us. Thank you for watching or listening to us throughout the year as well. Hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
Drink lots up until the allotted time, as we've decided already tonight.
And then it's a hard cut off.
Yeah, hard cut. What we just discussed tonight is now all like the rules. So, yeah.
That's the law.
Yeah. I guess I say cue the music now. That's what Tom usually does, isn't it?
Yep. Go on then. Say it.
Cue the music.